So with the final season of Better Call Saul finally upon us, there are so many questions, so many mysteries, so many things that we all want to know, but nothing has kind of obsessed me more and kind of made me just so curious and so fascinated to see what they would do is just the opening titles. Like, there's always 10 opening titles because there's 10 episodes. This time, there's 13. How are they going to change those opening titles in those last 3 episodes? And I've been so excited to see what they would do. Is it going to be completely different? Are they just going to go back and play the same first 3 again, which I always think would be the laziest and most boring answer? But you know what I did not expect? And we have had some shocking, crazy moments in the last couple of weeks. Like, it's been big reveals and big moments all around. But nothing has surprised and shocked me and made a visceral scream reaction from me than seeing the opening titles all flicker through all of them, then go static blue, and just the titles appear. I lost my mind. I love it. I love it so much. I cannot even explain how much joy it brought me to see just it do this crazy thing, and I think I was already prepared to be just in a state of shock and awe for this whole episode, because you know what I did not expect for like the 4th last episode? We've got a full Gene episode, baby. A full episode. Not just an opening scene. Not just a couple of scenes mixed up like in flashback style. We get a full Gene the Cinnabon Machine episode. What? Is it a shame the actor for Taxi Driver Man has changed? Yes! But who cares? This episode was fantastic. I did feel the characterization of him felt entirely different, but I also appreciate that the actor had to kind of bring his own thing. And is a very different kind of situation where Gene kind of steps into his world and goes, bam, this is what you want, this is how we're going to do it, and then we're going to be done. And it was a really different episode to anything I thought would happen. When he hangs up on Vacuum Cleaner Guy, back in season 5 or 4 or whenever the hell it was, there was just like a sense he's going to kind of attack this guy. He's going to come at him. And to have him be like, let's team up, baby. Let's do a sweet little scam. A classic Saul Goodman scam. Just wonderful. Wonderfully fun. We get one of the amazing Better Call Saul / Breaking Bad style montages. It gets all split side screeny like it's season 2 of Fargo. And I loved it. I loved it so much. It's crazy how they just have this ability to be like this really dull kind of moment or sequence if we just kind of shot it and framed it in a certain way. But we're going to make it dynamic, exciting, just real good and all that stuff. And it's essentially just Jerry from Parks and Rec eating delicious baked goods. And Saul goes, yeah, 3 minutes 15 again. And it's just that. Like 10 times. It's awesome. What I found so exciting about this as well is the whole kind of thing of what is Gene's last play? What is his last play going to be? And I really thought it was going to be him versus Taxi Driver Man. But that seems to kind of been wrapped up in this episode. And we got a full episode, feel really fleshed out. It didn't feel rushed or anything. And it was really fun to see Saul going to be like, you know, Saul again. And he's been this boring, old, timid Gene character. And there's one thing that I really kind of thought would have been really exciting, because the creators of the show have been like, it's not just black and white because it's a flash forward and we got to differentiate it. It's because Saul's a colorful, bang, color guy. And the color of his life has been drained out of it. Like that fun, that sense of purpose, all that stuff. And we're representing that by taking all the color out of his life. Hence black and white. And that last moment where he's got you can tell in the black and white, it's all flashy and colorful, he's got the tie. I was just screaming at the TV, being like, put on the jacket and have it fade into color and then smash cut to black titles. Like, I really think that would have been really exciting. But I suppose if they're going to keep doing more Gene stuff, he's going to be it's all just going to be black and white, I guess. But it did kind of feel like he was kind of Saul again, and he looked at the suit and he's like, oh, should I embrace this? So I guess maybe he's put it aside to not embrace it, and maybe he's just going to kind of, you know, keep just working at Cinnabon. But yeah, I mean, I just thought that would have been really interesting, but I guess that's not where the character was going. It's like, it was a brief moment of, should I? And then he didn't. So this episode starts with one of the most shocking and wild cold opens I feel like we've had in a very long time. Maybe the whole show. I was so fascinated and so curious, like, who is this elderly lady in this wheelchair? What is going on? And then as soon as you see her bump it into that snow, I'm just like, I smell a cheeky little Gene scam coming up. I have a feeling. And then you see him go with little Dippy or Skippy or Flippy or whatever his dog's name was. He's forgotten, I've forgotten, it doesn't matter. All part of the scam. Just wonderfully delightful. Saul has such a fascinating way of being like just, it's so kind of evil and twisted to manipulate this old lady like this by just placing all these situations and creating this character. But then when he's actually, charming her and, kind of being all seducey and like, not in the sexual way, but, kind of being really charismatic and friendly and nice, he is generally being really friendly and nice. And she gets along with him and she kind of, he brightens her day. So it's this really twisted thing of like, he's kind of, he's a really good friend to her for that little time. But it's just, it's so two-faced and it's just so like, and I don't know, I have such mixed feelings about it. Like, it's so fun to watch him kind of do this thing, but then in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, he's just, he's such a devious character. And it's just so two-faced and brutal. And the same when we get Jerry from Parks and Rec, which is an absolute delight to see. He's a lot of fun. We probably get one too many extreme close-ups of his mouth as he enjoys a delicious Cinnabon bun. I loved just how many Cinnabons he brought over and just that continuous montage and just that building up of tension of him slowly eating it. I really did think the last time he was going to kind of look at the knife and fork and be like, you know what? Screw the knife and fork and pick it up and eat it in like 20 seconds or kind of something like that. And speaking of expectation and just waiting for something to happen, having Taxi Driver Man running around the thing and I'm like, where's the guy on the buffer? Where's the guy who's going to do the polish? And he's going to run around a corner and the guy's just going to be there polishing the floor because it's been set up. We know that's kind of what's going to happen. But then to kind of twist that and be like, no, he's come in earlier and he's polished the floor so it's shiny and slippery and the guy just slips. Just a comedy of errors. Absolutely hilarious. Just such a great build-up of tension and just, it's so stressful. You just know something has got to go wrong somewhere and you're just waiting for that penny to drop. But I thought that was an utterly delightful kind of switch up of expectation. Maybe everyone expected that the polish would have made the floor slippery. But I don't know. I was just waiting for that guy to be there with the machine, just been like, and then Taxi Driver was going to do something kind of violent. But they kind of took the Ted route and had a big slip fall injury. And I really thought he was going to be dead. It's kind of crazy that he wasn't. Like, I don't know, just wonderful, delightful stuff. I have a feeling that this was kind of the last, like, feel good is probably the wrong word because there was a lot of tension and stress as Jerry's eating that thing in. He's just like, oh, especially when he fell and he thought it was all going to fall apart. But it was also just really fun, like, the scam of it all. And it was kind of like we had a slow burn scam and now we had one big episode with one big scam in like one tight episode, which I think is a nice contrast to the slow burn of the Howard scam. Another absolutely standout moment was when Gene kind of unveils the kind of sadness behind his character and the sadness of not being the Saul Goodman that he once was and being like, I'm alone, my parents are dead, my brother is dead, I don't have a wife, Kim's gone, all these things. But once again, while he's showing his true self and kind of giving like someone some honest part of himself, it's all a scam, it's all two-faced, it's all just part of the Saul Goodman trick, and it's, I don't know, it's really, really clever. I found that really fascinating. And once again, just like him being friends with Jerry, and they're all like going, pretending to play football and everything, and it's really fun and nice and genuine, but he's just playing a character. He's just dancing around, fooling everyone with this complete fake character, but to then see him kind of show that true sadness behind it all, but he's using it just to manipulate a situation to keep him looking at him. Oh, yeah, just such a complex mix of emotions where I am completely on Saul's side. I want him to get away with this scam, but the way he's kind of manipulating all these people, it's really fascinating. It's not evil, diabolical Walter White kind of levels of monstrosity, but it's just kind of like a different level of kind of just perverse human kind of, I don't know what the word is. There's probably a fascinating word. You're probably going to watch another YouTube video and they're like, it's this word. Considering how fast part 2 has been, with Lalo being dispatched in the first episode, Kim breaking up with him in the second episode, I really kind of thought we would spend a couple of episodes and then we get 2 full Gene epis at the end. But I think having potentially 4, but I do think maybe just 3 full Gene epis is super exciting. And just the way they've structured this season, I do have a feeling we are going to jump back one last time into that Breaking Bad kind of part of the timeline. And I just think mainly because, and this is spoilers if you don't know who's directing the episodes, so skip 20 seconds or whatever, but the second last episode directed and written by Vince Gilligan. And I kind of feel like that's, you know, I've been chatting with a mate, and that has to be when they are in it, if they're going to be in it. Because I think now we get another Gene episode where Kim kind of comes back into the fold, and that kind of ties into whatever we're going to see throughout Breaking Bad. Maybe we just see what Kim does throughout Breaking Bad, and Saul's not really in that episode, or something really exciting like that. And then we have our big finale Gene episode. I am super curious. Does everybody want to see just all Gene timeline all day, every day for the rest of the show, last 3 episodes? Or do we all kind of want to jump back one last time into the kind of Better Call Saul / Breaking Bad timeline back in the day, back colorful and all that stuff? Because I kind of feel like we almost need to go back once. It just feels like it would almost be such a wasted opportunity not to kind of weave some more soul through Breaking Bad, just kind of show different aspects of things, different shades of things, but maybe they just didn't really want to go there, and they want to fully spend time post Breaking Bad in the Gene timeline and really flesh out this ending for the character. I'm kind of split on it, because when you see an episode like this, it was amazing and spectacular and all the things, but also it was just like this one little contained moment, and there is still so much they can do now that Taxi Driver Man is essentially out of the picture. I mean, maybe he's not going to be out of the picture, but I think maybe it'd be more interesting if he was now. And this was kind of Gene stepping back into Saul a little bit. I do think Kim needs to come back. I think that's kind of been the main thing of the whole show, is those two and their relationship, and how their scams and Slippin' Jimmy and Slippin' Kimmy personas have kind of affected and changed each other. And I really want to see what Kim is like after so many years out of the game. Did she stay out of the game? Did she try and get back into the game in some way? Like, I don't know. There's just so many questions I have. I feel like we need to see that. So maybe it would be better to spend more time with the Gene timeline. But also, I really want to see Walter and Jesse one more time. I feel like this feels like the perfect opportunity to do one last hurrah in this universe, this Breaking Bad / Better Call Saul universe. I don't want to see them in their own movie like El Camino 2 or anything like that. I just want to see them in little cameo bits and maybe interacting with Kim, or maybe doing this, maybe doing that, but it fleshing out Saul's story, and then maybe kind of reinforcing, or, you know, I don't know, something happens and then it makes sense later in the Gene timeline. It is crazy to me to think that we might be done with the prequel side of this prequel series, and we might just be up to the sequel part of it, post Breaking Bad. That's kind of wild to me. So I kind of do hope we just get a little bit more prequel stuff with Saul, but in terms of every other character, I think we might be there. I think it might be done, and I think I am satisfied with that. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment below. I would love to know, what did everyone think of this Gene episode? We will be super happy it was all Gene, all black and white, all day, or do you want more prequel Better Call Saul? Did you want Kim to appear? Are you disappointed the Taxi Driver wasn't a big versus punch-up like Godzilla vs. Kong or something, but Saul related? Or were you happy that they teamed up and did a fun little scam, and it was stressful but mostly fun, and mostly Jerry from Parks and Rec eating a Cinnabon, which is, it's insane to say that one of the best montages in the whole show is just Jerry eating a Cinnabon and Saul being like, yep, 3 minutes 16 again, cool. It's crazy. The show does such a good job in making things that should be kind of dull and boring, like exciting and fun and interesting to look at, and just delightful. Like, it reminds me of, like, in season 2, I think it was, one of the best scenes in the whole season was just him photocopying. He's doing a little scam and changing little numbers, you all remember, and it's just a photocopying montage. And it's like one of the most exciting parts of the whole show. It's a wonderful filmmaking ability they have to make everything so exciting, so dynamic, so much fun. And yeah, I am truly going to miss this show. This was maybe one of my favorites. It was like doing so little, but everything it was doing was so interesting. It felt so right. It was so funny as well. I found this episode very, very funny. Like, there was so many great Soul lines, and just the interactions with everybody, the elderly lady, Taxi Driver's mum. I really liked all of it. It was just a really shockingly fun episode, and I was just wowed by just, like, every 10 minutes, I'm like, they are not cutting back. This is going to be a full Gene episode. That is crazy.